going on, everybody? So it's been about a month or so since I've done a revisited review. It's time to talk about, once again, House of Wax. I got the French uh, version. It's got French words on it. La Maison des Cires. I'm not even going to pretend like I speak French. This has a French director who just so happened to do Orphan, which I reviewed recently, and Shallows, which I currently have a review for that I haven't uploaded. Gonna upload that for Shark Week, baby. And he also did all these Liam Neeson movies like The Commuter, Nonstop, which I think is excellent. It's one of my favorite Liam Neeson movies. And this movie has, of course, Elisha Cuthbert, Chad Michael Murray from Cinderella Story and One Tree Hill, Brian Van Holt playing both of the killers. I did not know that before. He plays both of the killers in this movie. And Paris Hilton, of course, which is why a lot of people hate this movie. But hey, at least you get to see her die. And she has like the best death in the film. And she's the last one to die. So they saved the best for last. And you got Jared Padalecki, who for some reason he's the last name written on the top. You think he'd be like one of the first ones. But I guess he wasn't as famous around 2005, although that's when Supernatural started. Speaking of which, I read that Paris Hilton and Jared Padalecki went on to do an episode together on Supernatural, and in that episode, there's a wax museum, I heard, and they make reference of this film, which I thought was kind of funny. And the writers of this movie went on to write the Conjuring films and that god-awful The Turning that just came out this year. That movie was dog shit, if you ask me. And this was produced by Joel Silver and Robert Zemeckis. Wow. And this is like one of those, what's the company that doesn't make film anymore? Like Dark Castle. This is like that Dark Castle series where they were making all kinds of good horror movies in the 2000s, but they're just gone. They were like the Blumhouse of the 2000s before Blumhouse was a thing. When did Blumhouse start? I'm not even sure. Late 2000s? Was it Paranormal Activity? So I guess they were like right after Dark Castle, because when was the last Dark Castle film? When do you see Dark Castle films anymore? I'm pretty sure they're gone. But yeah, didn't they do like Ghost Ship? Or am I thinking of some other company now? Whatever, it doesn't matter. So this is one of those remakes that a lot of people just, for some reason, hate. I think it's Paris Hilton, or it's not like beat for beat the original. Like, who gives a shit? They do borrow some things from that original. I read that, I haven't seen it, but I read that in the original, there's a killer in that who wears like a face, a wax face, and there's a museum that burns down. Although I read that was the open of that film. This one's the end when the museum burns down to the ground. And I read that it also had, victims covered in wax. So they borrowed some shit from that movie. It's just this one's got, the typical young adults, early 20s, not so likable characters getting picked off one by one. They're having sex in the woods. Yes, it's paint by numbers a little bit. So maybe that's what turns people off about it. Maybe it's just not close enough to the original. But if it was very close to the original, you would have other people being like, well, it's too close to the original. They should have done something different. So you can't please anybody. I think this is an overlooked slasher with some very great like gore and grisly images. The way the mannequins look, the wax people when they fall apart, it's great stuff. And good cast too. I mean, say what you will about Paris Hilton, she's not that bad in this movie. Like, I read that she got a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actress for this film, and she doesn't even have that much dialogue in the film, and when she talks, it's fine. It's not great, it's not Oscar worthy, but is it Razzie worthy? Not really, not to me. I think everybody's just fine. They all serve their purpose, and that's it. There's nothing like terrible about it. I think the acting's fine. So, but yeah, what I do with my revisited reviews is I don't go into like pros and cons and do spoiler free sections. I'm just gonna go chronologically from beginning to end and tell you the things that I like and don't like as I get through it. So let's start first by talking about this crazy alternate open that I did not watch before, and I'm glad they took it out. It just looks weird. It made me laugh. So this chick, it opens up with a kill, like a lot of horror movies always got that opening kill, and she's on the road and the guy who's the killer, the guy in the tow truck, drives towards her, picks her up by the throat, and like going full speed, probably driving like 40 miles an hour or over, just has her in a chokehold as he's driving and throws her onto her own car, and just her face goes through the windshield like in the Carey remake. It also reminded me of like Hobbs and Shaw when like The Rock has that bad guy, just one of the lackeys, just picks him up and throws him up against the wall as they're driving full speed. It's like, that's impossible. There's no way this killer did that. Just picking her up, holding her as he's driving, and like throws her onto her car. It's just a very bizarre open. I'm glad they took that out. Although her body is the naked body with the wax on it that's being like sculpted later on, that you see the boobs of. So got some nudity in this film, so I'm always gonna like that. We don't get to see Paris Hilton naked, which is odd. You would think she'd be okay with it, right? Isn't she the one that had like a sex tape leak on purpose, probably just to get more fame and publicity? I don't know. I didn't do any research on that, but I could have swore she got kind of famous for some sex tape that went out. So this movie opens up in 1974, and we see that there's these two kids. One of them's crazy. He has to be restrained. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, if your son is this crazy that you have to duct tape him to his chair every morning to the point where he's, like, got scars all over his wrists, kind of like an orphan, I don't want to spoil that movie, but send him away. It's not worth it, It's not worth it. Just get rid of that little bastard. And then the other one, just a little dumb little thing to point out, he still has Cheerios, and she's like, "You want more Cheerios?" and starts pouring more. It's like he's not even finished, and he's making a mess. What an idiot. But anyways, so this movie commits a sin that always irritates me when I see it, and that is present day. Why is it that film always says present day? It just ages the film, especially when you're already establishing that the opening is 1974. As time goes on, when I watch this movie, like 30 years from now, these killers who look like middle-aged people, they're, further down the road, they're supposed to be like 90, 100. It's so dumb. Just say 2005. Don't say present day. It's just like Friday the 13th, where it goes 1953 or 4, and then it goes present day. It's not present day, clearly. And then the gang's heading out to a football game, and we got the whole shortcut cliche, like, I found a shortcut, and then we all know what's going to happen then. The shortcut's always not a good choice. Stay away from the shortcuts. We get this funny little blowjob joke where it looks like Paris Hilton's blowing the driver, but she's looking for her lip balm, which I thought was kind of funny. It's like one of the only moments in the movie that made me laugh. And then we're introduced to these twins, and it's kind of coincidental that the main two characters in this movie are twins, and the main bad guys in the movie are twins as well, although they're Siamese twins. But anyways, my fucking camera died. Hello. Chad Michael Murray, he's playing the evil twin, and he's like thinking he's so tough and badass, but he really is a badass, and you actually root for him. At first, you hate his character because of what we're told about his past and what he did. Like, he hates his sister because she didn't, like, help him out when he was getting arrested. She didn't cover for him. It's like, whatever. You expect your sister to do that for you? But he is a badass, and it's kind of believable, even though he's like, the ladies get man. He was in Cinderella Stories and like One Tree Hill. He's usually in these drama flicks, chick flicks, and now he's playing like this badass, so it might be hard for some people to buy it. But I think he plays a decent, tough guy. He's not like strong or anything. He's like my size. He doesn't work out or anything, but he can throw a punch later on. He kicks some ass, and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. But he does some stupid things, and like the truck pulls up, and it's just sitting there idling, like creepy, just not, no one's getting out of the truck, and they can't see who's in it, how many people might be in it. If they have guns, who knows? But he just picks this bottle up, throws it, breaks the headlight. Accurate throw, I must say, because he was far away. But it's like anybody could have been in that car. Obviously, they're creepy. Whoever is in that truck is probably a psychopath, and now you just pissed them off. So, not the best decision, but accurate throw. He looks like Slim Shady to me. Anybody else? Like a Justin Timberlake mixed with Slim Shady, like the way his attire is, the way he dresses, the tank top and the hoodie jacket, a little too big for him. He just thinks he's the real Slim Shady. Please stand up. So we got fake jump scares in this movie. Don't like it. We got Wade, fuck off Wade, played by Jared Padalecki. He sneaks up on the girlfriend, scares her, and then the loud stinger music. Boom. It's like we don't need it. Stop. And then there's this scene with like this big pile of like dead deer, like roadkill. And it's disgusting. She gets like stuck in it. That would just be awful, putting yourself in her shoes, especially when there's like the fake hand and she thinks there's like a dead body in there. And one thing I would take out of this movie, because it's just too much of a cliche, it's done way too much, is the whole redneck hillbilly with the banged up truck that's probably about to fall apart at any minute now or explode, with the Confederate flag and the bad teeth, probably chewing tobacco all the time, speaks like a redneck. Just, it's overdone. It's so dumb. Like, of course they don't trust him. Like, she gets in the car with him because they're desperate. They really need a ride to go get this fan belt, and she's kind of acting like a bitch. She doesn't trust him, so it kind of comes off as mean for her to act the way she's acting. But I don't really blame her because of the way he's acting, grabbing his Bowie knife, like putting it way too close to her face, stabbing the dashboard. It's like anyone would be scared and not trusting him. But yeah, just that whole cliche character in so many horror movies. They make fun of it in like the Cabin in the Woods movie, where they have the gas attendant guy set up to lure the victims to the cabin. It's just overdone. We don't need it. And then they try to do this little twist at the end, like he's the third brother, so we can set up a sequel that's never gonna happen, where he'll be the killer. It's like, it's not interesting. It's so dumb. It's so forced at the end. Like, here's the big reveal. It's not needed. They could just end it without that. And we don't need his character at all. They could have just walked and found the town on their own somehow. Just do whatever writing you can to get that to happen. You don't need his character to do it. And even, like, it doesn't make sense that he's the third brother, because he's not even mentioned in that story that we hear later on when Brian Van Holt's character, Bo, when he's talking about the whole history of the town and what the mom and her two kids, he says that she had two kids, not three. Why would he leave that detail out about the third kid? So, yeah. We get the fastest smoking I've ever seen on film. It reminded me of Sleepaway Camp 3, that preppy racist girl who like lights her cigarette and drops it immediately. Done. That's what Bo does in this movie. He gets out of the church, after attending the fake funeral, just lights a cigarette and it's over with. I'm done. It's like, oh wow, waste of a cigarette. And we get a dog scare, which is kind of funny. It's like sitting there all like still, and then it just jumps at him. It's like, why was it even sitting still like that? It's not like it was staring at him. It's just staring off in the distance, plain, wax figure. It's like, okay, who taught him that trick? So, and then we get a walk backward cliche once again. I've mentioned it before. I hate when a character in the movie just starts walking backwards for way too long. It's like no one in their right mind, especially in a dark room, which I think it was. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was. Thinking of a different scene. But anyway, it's just the whole walking backward bullshit. Because at some point the camera's going to go this way and they're going to bump into somebody or something that's going to scare them. And that's what happens. And Bo, yeah, he's telling the story, but he only mentions two kids, not three. And then she finds the broken headlight and finds out that Bo was the creepy guy at their camp the previous night, which, by the way, so that happens. Creepy truck just sitting there. They break its headlight, piss that person off, and they stay there. They sleep in that same exact spot. They go nowhere. There's like, all right, whatever, let's just sleep. And they sleep till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What? Pack your shit up, move maybe a couple miles that way, go somewhere else. I would be hightailing out of there. Like, that creeped me out. Let's go. We're not camping here. If somebody knows we're here, we're probably trespassing. So I thought it was really stupid that they even stay there. And it's like, of course you're going to wake up with your fan belt missing, you moron. And then they get to the town, and the 15-inch fan belt blade, whatever, they're all missing. Just that one alone. Like, coincidence? I think not. There's a plan. There's someone scheming here. Somebody's purposely setting this all up. And then, oh, come to my house. I might have one. No. All right, stupid. There's some dumb decisions in here with Jared Padalecki actually like buying this guy's bullshit, going into his house. What I would not go in there. But anyways, I like the reveal once it like because at first you don't think all those people are fake. The way it's set up and written and directed, you don't think it. It actually looks like a real person. Like the pastor guy looks like a real person, and then later on he's clearly fake. But that was a cool reveal. They got like all these tapes playing. You know, you think someone's in the window. You think the dogs are real. So yeah, I like that when it's revealed. It's like, oh shit, everybody's fake, and we get this question that just kind of like made me laugh. So she's running away from Bo because she saw the headlight. She's like, oh shit, he's the guy. And she gets tackled and she's like, what are you going to do to me? It's like, who asks that question? Like, what do you think he's going to do to you? Kill you, and hopefully that's it. Like, hope, just pray it's quick. But it's just such a dumb question. It's like, what are you going to do to me? So Jared Padalecki's character is the first one to die, and I like that. It's kind of shocking. He's like the good boyfriend, and you would think he would make it longer, but no, he's the first one to die, and that's the most brutal. Like, he gets his Achilles cut, dragged down, covered in wax, which would kill him, being smothered and all of that, like over his face. He's got nothing to breathe through. He would suffocate clearly. But looking past that, he gets like his body waxed, like all the hair ripped off, and then he gets thrown upstairs onto the piano. He's stuck there. He can't move. He gets his like jaw slowly peeled away by his friend Dalton, and then the bad guy comes in and cuts his face like wide open, and his like eyes are rolling up. He's like in so much pain. He's like crying, which doesn't make sense because all the other wax figures. I know I'm nitpicking here, but all the other figures we see when they get covered in wax, their eyes are waxed over too. But Wade, his eyes are not waxed over, which does not make sense, so he wouldn't be able to cry. You know what I mean? If you think about it for more than a second. So, anyways, yeah, after that, I mean, yeah, he's peeling away at his face. It's awesome looking. So, but then Dalton, he gets pushed down the stairs, and we get this weird decapitation that I still don't think is possible. I mean, he's got these two knives, and he just stabs that way into his neck, but he just stabs. It's the blades aren't that long, but then he just pulls his body, and his head's like clean cut, like a machete went through it, like Pamela Voorhees. No, like it's a dumb thing to criticize, but I just don't understand how that happened. It's like he just pulled his head off. Whatever. I like the production design. I don't think it's enough credit in this movie. Like, this is a good production. Like, the way that House of Wax looks on the outside and the inside is very creepy. Love the design. All the cobwebs. Just very awesome looking. And then, like, the whole hall going downstairs into the basement. Like, the faces on the wall was pretty cool and creepy looking. So I like that. And the second bad guy in this movie, he has like a Tommy Wiseau like wig on. He kind of looks like the bad guy in Ghost House. Not Ghost House. That movie's dog shit. Girl House, the porno site movie. It's got that kind of look going on. So then we get this scene where she's got her lips glued, and I read that that was real. Like the actress went all method, like, do it, actually glue my lips shut. I'm not sure if they did, but it looks pretty good. But I find it funny because he has duct tape and he duct tapes her arms and legs, but then doesn't just duct tape her mouth. He wants to do something different. Then we get her finger getting snipped off, which is awesome. Just a cringy moment. Ugh. And we get this like whole subplot with Paris Hilton being pregnant or not pregnant. She doesn't know, but it goes nowhere. She just dies. And her boyfriend gets like the knife in the neck, and they take it one step further. The guy walks up to him and just steps on the knife and pushes it more into his throat, which was cool. And the way this chase is edited with Paris Hilton, it makes it look like this big old factory of stolen cars from previous victims, kind of like in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and at least the remake, and the original, like, The Hills Have Eyes, where they got like all the victims' shit stashed away. They got that whole thing going on here, so it's kind of a cliche. We've seen it before. But yeah, they got this whole factory, this whole place, this garage area. I don't know what the hell it is, but they got all these cars, all these cell phones, but it looks like it's right next door to where they were just camping. Like, in eyesight, like right over there. Like, she runs past her boyfriend, hard cut, she's at the factory. Like, where was this? Miles into the woods? How did they not see that when they parked and like set up their camp? I don't know. But yeah, in Paris Hilton, she's got like this pole, and she like hits the bad guy in the face, and then drops it, dropping the weapon cliche. Fuck. So she got what she deserved. This guy's got an amazing throw. He just throws it right through the window, goes through the other window, through her forehead, and then she dies on her hands and knees. And then he just pushes her head even further on it as he's getting the pole out and he's filming her death for some reason. Who's going to watch that footage ever? There's no need. So then the brothers to the rescue. We got Chad Michael Murray kicking the shit out of Bo's character. They go to the theater, and I like that they steal a bow and arrow, and Bo gets a bow and arrow shot at him. And so they have the killer on the ground, and this is just another dumb moment that you kind of just have to look past. It's in so many horror movies. They got the killer on the ground with 2 arrows in his body, and they're like, all right, this body's time. Let's just go. It's like, no, kick the living shit out of him. Kick him. Kick him while he's down, all right? Doesn't make you less of a man. Just kick his fucking ass. He's going to murder you. Or even later on when he's too busy pulling arrows out of his shoulder, like they're like hiding in the house and he's by himself in so much pain that he's puking in the sink, which is nice. You don't see that too often in movies because that would happen. They could have kicked his ass right then and there too. Just, he's distracted. He's in so much pain. Kick the shit out of him. You got a baseball bat. Why not? But then later on when they got him down on the ground, the girlfriend or the sister at this point, yeah, she's not a girlfriend no more. Her boyfriend's dead. The sister, she goes to town on his face, just beating him to death with a baseball bat. It's like, thank you. Fool me once, shame on me. You ain't fooling me twice. No, no, no. So, and then, yeah, that chick singing in the movie theater, that song that's playing, awful. So, what else happens here? We get the Siamese twin reveal. They were Siamese at birth, and the ugly one's the good one, and the good-looking one's the evil one. So, but now they're both evil. I mean, come on. So, we get this scene where you got like the wax babies that are Siamese. They're stuck together, and the knife just conveniently goes right down. It's a cool shot. It's kind of funny, but it's like, okay, whatever. It's silly. And so we get this whole place lit up in flames. It's a house made of wax, and we got all this melting wax dripping on them. They're like coated in melted wax when they leave this house at the end, and it's never a problem. It's never burning them. Have you ever touched melted wax? It's not cold. It's not room temperature. It's hot. It would stick to your skin. It would burn like a motherfucker. And they're just covered in it. And they're just crawling out of it. All this shit's dripping on them. They're like, whatever. Maybe there's just so much adrenaline going that they can't even feel it. If I want to try to make this make sense. But that would take a lot of adrenaline to not feel all the candle wax dripping on you. Come on. But whatever. It's kind of poetic when the bad guy gets killed on the second floor and he falls on his brother in the same exact position that they were born, face to face, the same exact way. I thought that was kind of cool, a little poetic. And so, yeah, I think that's it. Batter up, Bo. I wrote that down. So, then we find out that the stupid hillbilly guy, he's the third brother. Dun, dun, dun. The CGI visual effects of the ugly brother's face, the half face, like caved in, doesn't look that good. I wish they would have not did that. And then the effects, the visual effects of the house melting with them like in the words House of Wax is fine. It's not that great looking. It's 2005 CGI visual effects, but it looks good. I mean, it didn't like take me out of it or anything. It was just the bad guy's face where I was like, ooh, that could have been done better. So I think I got all of it. So talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, cool kills. They're all inventive. None of them are simple like gut stabs or anything off camera shit. They're all good kills. You got some gore, a good cast in here. I mean, besides Paris Hilton, if you don't like her, at least she dies. At least she has like the best kill in the movie. And you got two killers, which is always fun. Adds to the stakes. There's a lot more tension. You got two bad guys instead of one, like a Scream movie. Not to spoil Scream if you haven't seen it. But yeah, the grisly imagery, the creepy, eerie, mansion, all the mannequins or whatever you want to call them, the wax figures, whatever, all look pretty cool. I like that. I like that shit. Like the premise. Like some of the smart decisions in the movie. There's some dumb ones too, but I feel like they do some smart things. When the brother starts fighting back and he shuts the door, locks it, gets the screwdriver, locks the other door, helping his sister out. I like the fact that the main characters are brother and sister and they have to help each other out. It always is, a good setup to a horror movie when it's like a brother sister duo, like a Child's Play 2, like foster siblings. It just always seems to work for me. It helps me root for them more, the fact that they're related. And I like that he makes it at the end, the brother. Like, he goes from not so likable, just douchebag, always trying to act so tough, and then has to prove how tough he is later on, and he's the knight in shining armor. He helps his sister out, so I like it. So yeah, not too many things I don't like about the movie. I mean, besides little jump scares that weren't needed, some visual effects here and there, Paris Hilton, if you don't like her. Yeah, I dig this movie. I think I gave it like a Redbox rental rating last time. I would say go out and buy it. I like this movie. So, underappreciated slasher movie. Definitely worth checking out if you like creative kills and you like slashers. This is a slasher movie for the slasher fans, definitely. So, hate on it all you want. I'm a fan of it. So, now let's go over my awards. The Hockey Mask Award for Best Character in the movie for me is Nick. Guy who stands up for his sister at the end, fights back, and is a badass. And the Funny Bone Award for Funniest Moment in the movie is the whole blowjob joke at the beginning with Paris Hilton picking up her lip balm. And the hottest chick in this movie is the main girl, Carey, played by Elisha Cuthbert. And the Clap Award for Best Scene in this movie is that third act scene with the brother and sister fighting against Bo and Vincent and the whole house melting down to the ground. Just a very tense third act that I really liked. And the Mr. Hat Award for Best Kill will go to Paige, played by Paris Hilton, who gets a pole right through her face. The Mr. Twig Award for Lamest Kill will be Dalton. Even though it's not really a lame kill, I just don't get it. But I like a good decapitation, but this is my least favorite. And those are my thoughts on House of Wax, the remake, not the original 1953, of course. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll check it out at some point if Amazon Prime ever picks it up, or Tubi. But let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below. In case you're wondering, this is a Gutter Garb shirt. This is Jason Voorhees in Part 7. Cool shirt. Awesome. You can get it at guttergarbs.com. Maybe not anymore, but whatever. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button, become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month to request movie reviews, and support this channel to help it grow. And become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.